Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about coil pots now. Oh, by the way, you can be as creative as you can be in all of these things. And you're going to have one grade that's a weighted grade. It's worth like 300 points instead of 100. And if you end up with one project that takes you the whole time, I don't care, that's fine. As long as you're working hard and I can tell you're being creative and using your time wisely, that's great. You can still get 100%. If you make smaller projects that don't take as long, then you may end up with 3 or 4 projects. So the coil pot, I've had students make coil pots that are like 3 feet tall, and that's the one project they do for the time. Totally up to you. Here's a couple of examples. You can roll the coils or you can cut the coils so they can be rounded or they can be flat. Totally up to you. You can make a lid, whatever you like. When you go to do the bottom, usually, I guess coil pots could be any shape you want, but if they're going to be round, just like we cut the bottom of this kind of a pot, I'm going to take this apart. But when you do the bottom, pick one of the dishes that has an opening the size that you want the pot to be, and then all you have to do is like a cookie cutter, press it into the clay you've rolled out. Now I would suggest if you're doing a coil pot that the bottom should be thicker because you have to be able to attach the coils to it. So maybe you could even, if you want it really thick, even use the thickness that I give you. That's about 1/2 inch thick. I would not go any thinner than the square stick thickness. Don't go as thin as the thinnest stick. That would probably be too thin for a coil pot. So when you go to attach the coils, I think I'll just show you with this one, even though this is too thin. When you make your coils, you can roll the coils. And you want to make sure they're not oval. You want them round. So roll it. They shouldn't kind of bang on the table. And you can make several ahead of time. And you'll have a plastic bag. If you need a bigger plastic bag, I can give it to you. You can kind of store them in there until you're ready to go. If the clay is really, really fresh, and maybe you want it thinner than that, totally up to you. If the clay is really fresh, you can just go ahead and use your thumb and push it right into the bottom and just keep going around and adding more and more coils. And it can take lots of different shapes. Then you just kind of keep going higher and higher. If you don't want the thumb marks to show, you can have the thumb marks be on the inside. And I almost hate to mention it, but you can use a paddle if you want, because it gets pretty loud in here if everybody's paddling. Where's my paddle? Here it is. I made these paddles. It's just a piece of wood with burlap on it, just like the burlap tablecloth. And then I use a staple gun. So make sure when you're paddling anything, if you need to paddle it to smooth it out, don't paddle where the staples are. You want the smooth side, of course. So if you want to kind of paddle it to get it nice and smooth, you can. Get the lines out of it as you go. You could even, I guess, make your coil pot square if you want. And then you just keep adding and adding and adding and make it as big and fancy as you'd like. All right? So that's basically how you end up with a coil pot.